Hi everybody, I would like to make a video regarding working with Hades. Yeah, the Greek god of the underworld. That guy. I feel like maybe people may feel some resistance towards working with Hades. Maybe you might have some preconceived ideas about how he's going to behave, what he should be like, what his personality is going to be, that kind of thing. And I just really like to clear a few things up because I do work quite closely with Hades in my practice, and I think a lot of people just misunderstand him, like the same way people misunderstand Lucifer, and the way they misunderstand Loki, um, and that's okay. So the first thing I'm going to suggest to you about working with Hades, about working with literally any deity, is number one, do your research. Make sure you know what you're talking about. Number two, have respect. Whoever you are approaching, have respect. And don't take what you read as gospel. Doing your research is important so you can get an idea of who Hades is, what he represents, what he does, that kind of thing. But don't take what you read as fact. And the reason I say this is because the way you perceive a deity to be, for example, you read on the internet somewhere that Hades is this really stern person, and there's like not much humor there, etc., etc. You read that and you may find yourself having a preconceived idea about how Hades is going to be stern and strict and this and that and the other. And I don't know how many of you are going to be aware of this, but if that's how you've decided that they should be, that is the only side of them they are going to present to you. So they will manifest for you in that way. And it's a much more authentic relationship if you are accepting of Hades, of any deity, exactly as they are, just like you would do with another person. Like, be respectful, but like take them as they are. Any preconceived ideas you might have, you need to try and work past those first. I'm not saying discard the research, because the research is always a good idea, so you can have an idea. But it's always more authentic if you take them as they are. And I think a lot of people kind of misunderstand Hades. Like, for example, people may mistakenly think that he's the god of death, which he is not. Some people may think he's the Grim Reaper, which again, he is not. He doesn't have any part of anyone's, he doesn't decide who dies or when or anything like that. The underworld is his realm, and my understanding of the underworld is that that is one of the many places in existence that a soul can go after they pass over and they're no longer, alive. And a soul can go and stay there in the underworld for as long as they want before they're ready to come back and be reincarnated either here on Earth or somewhere else in the galaxy. One of the many galaxies. And yes, he can sometimes be stern, and he can sometimes hit you with a truth. Just straight. No sugarcoating, no bullshit, just straight to the point. This is what you gotta do. But that's never meant with any malice or ill intention. he is just quite direct and to the point sometimes. I think it is essential to remember that when you are working with deities, whether that be Hades or someone else, they all have their own thoughts, feelings, opinions, etc., just like we do. And it's also important to remember that it's okay to kind of be oblivious to any incoming signs or messages that you might have. Because I know I can be sometimes. I'm really using Hades as the example here because, number one, I work really closely with Hades in my practice. And number two, I feel like it needs to be said. If you are thinking of reaching out to Hades, but based on your research, you're not sure. Obviously, only you can make that decision, but I would recommend it. Obviously, don't be offended if you don't get anything back, because obviously, just because you've reached out, that doesn't oblige anybody to work with you just because you've asked them to. The same way it wouldn't with you or I if you said to me, hey Rox, can we collaborate on this? If I didn't want to, I'm well within my rights to say no. Hades is well within his rights to say no, as is any other deity that you may pick, that you might want to work with. So do just bear that in mind. However, I would recommend that you do reach out and you can ask for a specific sign, like any sign that you want. Ideally a sign that after doing some research you have realised has association, that Hades is associated with, like, I don't know, like Cerberus, for example. You might see 3 black dogs, you might see a bat, I don't know, anything. It can literally be anything you want it to be. And it is okay to reach out, and I feel like there may be some people out there that have reached out that have reached out in an attempt to try and communicate with Hades around working with him, and he is responding, but you're not picking that up. You're not quite aware of that yet, and that's okay. And I know this is the case because he has just told me this is the case. There are people trying to reach, that have reached out, and he's like trying to get your attention, like, yep, that's cool, I'm totally down with that, I'm here, let's go. But you're, for whatever reason, you're not getting it. And that's okay, because, you know, sometimes it's difficult to see the signs that you've asked for. Or maybe you have asked for the sign. For example, you have asked for 3 black dogs because, you know, Cerberus, 3 heads, you know where I'm going with this, right? And you keep seeing 3 black dogs, but you're not entirely sure, or maybe you're too focused on it so you feel like you're seeing black dogs everywhere. Like, from a distance, a brown dog can look black. The point I'm making is it's okay to miss signs. It's okay to ask for signier signs. Though I will warn you, if Hades is sending signs and you're picking up on them and doubting it and you keep asking for signier signs, he will get creative about how he sends you those signs, right? Sometimes man likes to be extra. Sometimes he likes to be extra, so do just bear that in mind. Well, the reason I'm going on this seemingly really long speech is so in the hopes of trying to help you connect, if that's what you want to do. Like, do your research, have a read, see what resonates with you, and if you really want to circle back as well to any preconceived ideas you may have garnered or even already had before you started your research, you know, because we all think things. Try to let go of those, because your research will probably tell you, like it told me, will probably tell you that Hades is extremely stern and he never leaves, very, very rarely leaves the underworld and all this kind of thing. And again, remember that what is stated happened in the myths may not necessarily be super accurate. It's not a fact book. But definitely take him for who he is, because he's brilliant to work with. Yeah, sometimes he does deliver the truth and what you need to hear, and he doesn't sugarcoat it, but it is always he has your interests at heart with this, and he actually can genuinely be hilarious. He's got a very dark, very dry sense of humour. And I happen to also have a dry and dark sense of humour, so I think it's hilarious when he makes these little jokes or makes these little comments. And you may find yourself pleasantly surprised. Like, he's not scary. He has no say in when people die or how they're gonna die. He doesn't preside over souls like being tortured or anything like that, you know. He doesn't. That's absolutely not who he is. So if you've been considering working with Hades, try it. You won't regret. And if you have reached out to him, perhaps you're not getting the sign. If you're not sure, you can always ask for a different way to receive the sign. So, for example, say you've seen 3 dogs, but 2 of them were black and you think one of them was brown, and you're not really sure. You can always ask to receive that message a different way. Like, the messages, these signs, they can come in literally any form. It doesn't have to physically be right in front of you. It can be like a picture on social media, or you could see a specific advert and all of a sudden, like, there's 3 dogs and they all happen to be black. I'm using the Cerberus example because it's just the most obvious one. Like, it could be on your FYP if you're scrolling TikTok. Someone could have literally a picture on like a hoodie or a jacket or something. It can come like in literally any form, and you can even say, I'm not sure, I think I might suck at this sign noticing thing. Is there any way you could send it to me in another way, like a dream perhaps? But that's only really helpful if you tend to remember your dreams more than I do, because I kind of suck at dream recall. Anyway, that's it. I've taken up enough of your time. A lot of what I'm saying does apply to other deities, like things like do your research, be respectful, etc., etc. But definitely try and take preconceived notions, pop them in a little box and put the box to one side, and you can experience the deity as they authentically are. And it's such and it really does forge an awesome relationship. Anyway, I really have been taking up enough of your time, and I can hear my son. So I'm gonna go. I hope you found this video helpful. I wish you all the best. Okay, until next time.